What does the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society got to do with this 6-foot tall stone pyramid at the founder of the group that would later be called Jehovah's Witnesses' grave? If he was a Mason, then there are some things that you need to know. First of all, Charles Taze Russell claimed to be coming to establish the true religion. But Masonry, Freemasonry, is already a religion. Their members are told it's not a religion. But this book here is called Morals and Dogma, Ancient and Accepted Right. This is a book that is reserved for high-ranking Masons, or at least it was, until we entered the information age like we have today, and you can go online and buy one. So I did. Why not? In this book here, page 213, speaking of Masonry, Freemasonry, it says, every Masonic lodge is a temple of religion, and its teachings are instruction in religion. So every Masonic lodge is a temple of religion. This book is reserved for the high-ranking Mason, the 33rd degree guys, the ones that are way up top, that's gone through all the rules and rituals and things. Nickel and dimers like me are not supposed to have this book because it's got some of their secrets in there. Not a lot, but it's got some of their secrets in there. But if Charles Taze Russell, using this Masonic symbol on all his stuff, if he was a Mason, then there's something you need to know, because he is the roots of the tree of the group that later became called Jehovah's Witnesses. And as you see, the leadership of the Watchtower still follows his rules, that his writings is supposed to be superior than the Bible. They believe their writings are superior to the Bible. So let's see what the Masons are taught in a couple of paragraphs right here from their secret book. Ready? Page 819. The blue degrees, that's the first levels of Freemason. When somebody first joins, they can go to the first levels, and if they want to go higher, they can go higher. But the first levels of the Freemasonry thing is called the blue degrees. Listen to what it says. The blue degrees are but the outer court or portico of the temple. Part of the symbols are displayed to the initiate, but he is intentionally misled by false interpretations. It is not intended that he shall understand them, but it is intended that he shall imagine he understands them. The true explanation is reserved for the adepts, the princes of Masonry. It is well enough for the mass of those called Masons to imagine that all is contained in the blue degrees, and whoso attempts to undeceive them will labor in vain, and without any true reward violate his obligation as an adept. Did you catch that last paragraph? The first paragraph, he's telling you the people in the blue degrees of Freemasonry are to be shown signs and symbols and led to believe that they know what those signs and symbols mean. They say it's not important that they know what they mean, only that they imagine that they know what they mean. But the true meaning is reserved. What that is saying, folks, is similar to this. Insight on the Scriptures, Watchtower Publication, Volume 2. There are those who are entitled to know the truth and those who are not entitled to know the truth, according to the Watchtower Society. In this Freemasonry book, they're saying the high-ranking Mason, if he attempts to undeceive the initiate, the low-ranking member, he's in violation of his obligation, the obligation of the blood oaths that Masons have to take, that they won't reveal the secrets. So they're saying if you run into somebody who has been deceived in Freemasonry by showing them signs and symbols and telling them the sign means one thing when it actually means something else, if you try to tell them what that sign actually means, you're in violation of your obligation, you're in violation of your blood oath, and they can put you to death. That's wicked. That is evil. Because what they're telling you is it's okay to lie to people who you believe are not entitled to know the truth. Does that sound familiar? They believe the low-ranking Mason is not entitled to know the truth. Therefore, they'll show them signs and symbols and lead them to believe that they know what those signs and symbols mean. But in the mind of the high-ranking Mason, that low-ranking Mason is not entitled to know the truth. Insight on the Scriptures, Volume 2. Under the letter L, the word lie. Lie, the opposite of truth. Lying generally involves saying something false to a person who is entitled to know the truth, and doing so with the intent to deceive or injure him or another person. Over here it says the father or originator of lying is Satan the devil. This paragraph, especially serious have been religious lies, as they have endangered the future lives of persons deceived by them. And this paragraph here, the knockout punch, while malicious lying is definitely condemned in the Bible, it does not mean that a person is under obligation to divulge truthful information to people who are not entitled to it. Wait a minute. While malicious lying is definitely condemned in the Bible, this does not mean that a person is under obligation. It is well enough for the mass of those called Masons to imagine that all is contained in the blue degrees, but whosoever attempts to undeceive them will labor in vain and without any true reward violate his obligations. It sounds very familiar. I'm just singing. It sounds very, very familiar that it might be the same spirit behind both of these religions. What spirit is it? The Lost Keys of Freemasonry by Manly P. Hall. This is another one of the secret books that I'm not supposed to have, so don't tell nobody I have it, okay? Page 48 this is what it says. You want to know what the secret of Freemasonry is? Here it comes, one paragraph. When the Mason learns that the key to the warrior on the block is the proper application of the dynamo of living power, he has learned the mystery of his craft. The seething energies of Lucifer are in his hands, and before he may step onward and upward, he must prove his ability to properly apply energy. The seething energy of Lucifer in the hands of the Mason. That's their goal. And before they may move onward and upward, he must prove his ability to properly apply energy. What energy? The seething energies of Lucifer. Who's Lucifer? You look in these new Bibles, you're going to have a hard time finding out who Lucifer is, because they've gone through an extensive work to remove him from the new Bible versions. The word Lucifer only appears one time in the entire Bible. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12 in the King James Bible. All the new Bible versions have tinkered around with this verse and took Lucifer's name out. But the King James Bible, translated from different manuscripts in the new Bible versions, tells you who Lucifer is and what his destination is. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation on the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. The Mason wants the seething energy of Lucifer in his hands, and Lucifer's destination, according to my Bible, is hell. If you have his power in your hands, those hands are going to take you right to hell. And if Russell, Charles Taze Russell, if he was involved with the Masons, with all this Masonic symbolism in his books that he wrote, and he handed this ball off to Rutherford after him, and then Knorr and Henschel and Franz and all the rest of them that were the leaders of the Watchtower Society, you cannot ignore the roots of the tree, folks. You cannot ignore the roots of the tree. And if the roots of the tree is Russell, and Russell was involved in these things, that might explain then why they have ties to the occult when it comes to their Bible version, as I showed you in an earlier video, where they could not find a Christian source to support their views on Jesus Christ, mainly their John 1:1 passage. They couldn't find any Christian source to support their translation of John 1:1 saying the word was a God. So what did they do? They went to the spirit medium, Johannes Grieber. Remember? They went to the spirit medium, Johannes Grieber, and they had him be their source of information. And they told their members in many of their publications, he's just a former Catholic priest. In one of their Watchtowers, they actually admitted the man was involved in the occult and he wrote a satanic Bible version, but that didn't stop them, because after writing that article and admitting that they knew who the man was and what he had done, that didn't stop them from continuing to use his satanic Bible version, his occultic Bible version that he admitted he wrote through seances and trances. They used this Bible version to help them find support for their New World Translation. John 1:1 in his Bible version, his satanic Bible version, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was a God. Word for word in your New World Translation. And they acknowledged in this book here, Make Sure of All Things, under the section Trinity, they admitted. They quoted from Grieber. They quoted from Grieber's Bible. They admitted it in this Bible. They used Grieber as a source. In this book here, the Word, who is he, according to John? And here again, another Watchtower publication, they quotes Johannes Grieber, the spirit medium, as being their source for their translation of John 1:1. The Word was a God.